We are back with another HOF research session. Yes, a weekly occurrence. Week 10 of the NFL season. And I'm feeling really good after last week, fellas. Cashed my straight, cashed my parlay. So, on that note, I'm going to kick things off. I will say really quickly, though, make sure you stick to the end. We got the Monday Night Football lay back again. So, yeah, looking forward to that. I'm going to kick things off with Keenan Allen, 40 plus receiving yards, offered at minus 122 on a straight, Brian. That's what we call great value. Hit in 78% of games this season. And if we see in home games, Brian, if you could hit that filter for me real quick. That's straight green. That's straight 100%. And we see he's facing Pittsburgh, who allow the most yards in the league to wide receivers. So really strong read there. And the last thing I'd like to look at is the usage share chart. Just make sure he's getting his touches. You know what I mean? At the start of the season, he was leading. I think now he's probably second behind McConkey. But if we look at the last five, I think he's still averaging like roughly eight-ish targets per game. So still getting those touches, plenty to get 40 yards.
Love that pick, minus 122. We're getting that even money or close pick. I do like the value there. Going off of that, not back to my well, but back to my friend Brad's well over here, which, by the way, a little call out. We're in the office today. We love having Brad in Boston. The boys are out here. But anyways, I'm going with the Chicago Bears. This is a total points. I think I'm going with the game lines here. A little bit of an alternate line at 44.5. But as we can see on the game logs here for the current season, they've covered this in all but one game that was against New Orleans. And they're coming off the best offensive performance they've had so far this year. 89 total points scored against Cincinnati. I mean, against a team like the Giants, who are consistently allowing a lot of points in the last 3 games at least. I think this cashes pretty easily.
Love the pick by Brian. Total points. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game for that Bears matchup, and they've been a hot team, but also another hot team is the Patriots. I'm going to go with Drake Maye at 220 plus passing yards here. As you can see with the filters applied, this has hit in all 4 of away games thus far, as well as if you scroll down to the averages, he's been averaging 246.5 passing yards in those 4 games. On top of that, if we take off that filter, it's also hit in 8 out of 9 games this year. So he's been very consistent hitting this line. And as you can see from the recent stat lines below, this line is hit for Jared Goff, and it's also hit against Sam Darnold, who's hit 341 passing yards against that Tampa Bay defense. So they're pretty prone to big passing games by QBs, and I like the matchup here. And I love the value that we're getting at odds at minus 170.
Fire straight from the boys, bro. They cooking up per usual. And now we're moving over to the parlay section. I'm loving it. We're starting with the Lions. Back to Brian's well, back to his favorite team. I'm doing it though this week. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 60 plus receiving yards, has hit in 75% of games this season. And we can see that he faces Washington, a very weak defense. So I'm really loving the matchup here. If we scroll down to recent stat lines, we can see other wide receiver ones that perform very well against the Commanders. The other thing we want to look at with Amon-Ra St. Brown is the matchup grade. We can see against other kind of similar matchups as the Commanders, he's been crushing this line. So I'm liking him to really go off in this game. Moving over to the second part now, Lions minus 6.5. I was mentioning it before, but Jaden Daniels out. They're going to be a bit down on confidence, the Commanders, so I like this game for the Lions. And we can see, if we go up to the top there, we see the Lions have an elite offense. Commanders pretty poor defensively. We see, if we flip it there, Brian, Commanders relatively weak offense, especially without Jaden Daniels. The Lions have a very strong defense. So yeah, I'm liking them to take this one. Moving over to the PO now, part of the reason why I really like this parlay is the correlation, right? If Amon-Ra St. Brown is going off, the Lions have a very good chance of winning the game. We can see the hit-miss correlation down there, Brian. I think it's a 3.7 out of 5. That's very green, people. The other thing I'd like to add as well, too, we can see against weak defenses, This parlay is hit in 5 of 7 games this season. That's a really good output, and we know the Commanders very weak defensively. We're getting this at plus 116 on DraftKings. I did actually check Caesars before recording. We were getting it at plus 129 over there. So yeah, loving the value. My favorite, nice little 2-man plus money.
Loving the value on that parlay. Per usual, we're getting some nice positive edge on it. I like the correlation part too. He thrown a little some extra in the mix today. But for my parlay, I'm going 2 legs as well, a little builder action. I'm starting off with Devon Achane. I like him for 50-plus rush yards against Buffalo, who has been consistently struggling to stop the run, as we see here, 29th overall so far this season. If we look at Achane's last 5, he's averaging 70 per game, and he's cleared this in all 3 of the last few games here. And then if I throw on some of the filters, so like at home, 3 out of 4 of the last few games there as well. Last thing I'll note on this one, all 3 games against Buffalo, he has cashed this line. So expecting this trend to continue. Kind of on that note, sticking with the same game, I got Josh Allen also on the ground for 20-plus rush yards. He is facing a good pass defense in Miami. I know he didn't hit this in the last 2. However, prior to that, we see that he's clearing this line really easily. If they do struggle in the air, you got to expect Josh Allen to tuck it and get those 20 yards. So I think that's a low line for him. 1 big run even, and he cashes that. So with that brings us to the parlay optimizer on this side here. The filter I have is for the opponent defensive ranking, as we see with the combined hit rate there at a minus 200 implied odds. We're getting this for plus 125 on Caesars, so similar range as Aiden's, expecting both of those to cash pretty easily. And yeah, let's keep it moving.
Love the picks, boys. Love the picks. For my first pick in my parlay, I'm going to go with Trey McBride, 50-plus receiving yards. Very stellar player. He's very consistent. He's one of the top options for Jacoby Brissett, who is now starting for the Cardinals. As you can see here, it's hit in 7 of the 9 games this year, so 75%. And we also see that Arizona playing Seattle. Seattle's defense ranks 25th against tight ends for receiving yards. So love the matchup there. If we go on over here to filters and we filter by opposing pass defense rank and opposing offensive rank, if we go bottom half there, top half there, we'll see that this is hit in all 3 games. And if we go reset those filters and do head-to-head, it's also hit in all 3 games that they've played Seattle. So really love that there. I think Seattle's got a great defense, and they got a stellar run defense, so I think they're going to have to pass the ball a lot. And Trey McBride is a very consistent top player, so he'll get the ball a lot, I think. And if we also scroll down to recent stat lines, we'll see that a big thing here is Dalton Schultz a couple games ago did hit that line at 98 yards for tight ends, and it's hit 4 of the last 6 games for tight ends that have played Seattle, so love that pick as well. For my next one, I'm going to go Jackson Dart, 190-plus passing yards. He's kind of cooled down a little bit from the hype, but he's still a great player, I think, and he has a lot of potential. And it's also, this line has hit in 5 out of the last 6 games. They do play the Bears, and that's my Bears, and they aren't great on pass defense. I mean, we saw if you go down to recent stat lines that Joe Flacco absolutely teared him up with 470 pass yards. So that's huge value here. I think a huge upside, especially as the Bears hopefully continue to roll on offense. He'll need to throw it more. But yeah, I love that pick. Last 5, it has cashed. Also moving on to my next one, we're also going to get another QB play in that same game. It's going to be Caleb Williams for 210 plus passing yards. Again, New York Giants have ranked 23rd in passing yards allowed. So I expect this game, as we see from the total points prop, to be a high scoring game. They're going to have to air it out a lot in terms of game script. So if we go over to filters here and we go to opposing pass defense rank and filter by the bottom half of where the Giants stand, we'll see that this is hit in 5 out of 6 games. So Caleb Williams does pretty well against passing defenses, averaging just under 250 passing yards. I love the upside here now that we've seen Colston Loveland emerge in the passing attack as like a big play kind of threat. And just overall, I think they should be able to tear up this defense. So I love this pick as well. If we go over to the parlay optimizer, we'll see that if we throw on like opposing rank filters here, um, we'll see that we've hit greens here for this year, getting the implied odds at plus 100, while we're getting the actual odds at plus 204. So love the value there, love the hit rates, and think this should be a good value here.
Loving the parlay from Brad. He's getting surgical per usual. But moving over to our Monday Night Football parlay now, I'm going to kick things off. Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown. He scored a touchdown in his last 5 games this season. We're getting it for decent odds, by the way. Minus 155 on ESPN Bet. So yeah, decent value there. We can see that he faces the Eagles, who allow lots of touchdowns to running backs. And if we scroll down, look at recent stat lines, we can see, the last 6 running backs to face the Eagles have all scored. So you've got arguably the hottest running back in the game facing a team that's allowing a lot of touchdowns to running backs. That feels like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, going off that, love Josh Jacobs as a runner. I'm going to go with Green Bay, team points 21 plus. Green Bay has put up a lot of points this year. As you can see, it's 6 out of 8 games they have hit this line in terms of what they've scored, and they've averaged just under 26 points this year. So I think this trend will continue, especially with the vulnerabilities in the matchup.
All right, and I'm going to wrap things up with our third leg. Still sticking with the Packers. I got Romeo Doubs, 40-plus receiving yards here for Monday Night Football. Yeah, as we see here, last 5 games, he's been smashing this line, coming off his best game of the year against Carolina here. And now that the Packers are down Tucker Kraft, that's one less pass catcher. Christian Watson is coming back. However, Doubs has really cemented himself in the top 2 wide receiver pass catcher group for Green Bay. And with the average of 64 yards in the last 5, I think this cashes pretty easily as well. So that brings us to our parlay optimizer here on the right side. We'll see our 3 picks in here. With no filters, we're getting still implied probability of 63%, implied odds of minus 167. However, we are getting this for plus money. This is a big edge here, plus 191 on FanDuel. So loving this pick. We got the Monday Night Football crew rolling. We're hyped. We're going to cash this one. And on that note, that'll wrap up the video for us here today. Appreciate you all joining as usual. Don't forget, use code HOFYT. You'll get $10 off your first month with HOF. You'll see the same exact things that we're seeing. You get the mobile app, desktop app, Discord, all that good stuff. So leave a like if you enjoyed. Definitely leave a comment if you're tailing or you're fading. Let us know, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.